kill and leave, or they might just pick up a kill right here on Blight. So they might. The chump doesn't land, so Blight barely gets away. They're gonna reel Secret back into this one. A shutdown kill possibly for Nordy, if they will find it. But at what cost? Because Sonic Edge is going to have absolutely massive ultimate, and Nordy start dropping like flies.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever edition of Playoff Hypes for DUO Esports, where we interview each of the top 4 teams who made it into Season 3 of the BSG Competitive Series Playoffs. Today I'm here with the #1 seed from the other division, AOL Phoenix. My name is Sievert, and I am here with To Live Is To Smile, ADC of AOL, and Bluedit, captain of AOL. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing.
That's it? You're just doing?
I'm feeling fine, yeah.
Guys having a good night tonight? Nothing special? Just chilling?
Got to watch a soccer game with my friends, but like, yeah, just chilling.
Good to hear. Yourself, Bluedit?
Not much. That's been happening. I lost some match earlier. It's bad. My first matching another league.
Oh, that's sad to hear. Oh well. Hey, we all have a rough start before we can have a big climb. So, anyway, gentlemen, I have brought both of you here today because I am here to really see your guys' opinions and your guys' view on this entire season of DUO Esports pertaining to just AOL Phoenix. I understand there's a version that already comes out like once, maybe even twice a week if we're lucky, of the tower dive, and that usually covers like the entire league, but there's no really true focus on each team, and this is what this is basically going to be about. But really, what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about today is really AOL as a team, the players within AOL, and your guys' experience throughout this entire season. So, if you don't mind, Blue, I want to go ahead and I want to start with you during this interview. First question I have for you, really, is how did AOL form? Like, how did you get the team ready for the upcoming Season 3 of DUO?
Like the history of AOL, or?
For just pertaining to Season 3.
Well, I wanted to give AOL and their players a shot at finals or playoffs, whichever game.
So was that like you just wanted, because I remember back in Season 2, AOL actually had a little bit of a struggle. It once was an actual team that was actually really good from what I could remember, and they were actually playoff contenders for the longest while. And then they had their eventual downfall, and they actually got disbanded from the league in Season 2. Was this kind of like a whole, oh, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get AOL back together, we're going to come at them in Season 3? Like, what was the whole motivation behind that?
Yeah, basically that. To come back Season 3, things stronger, with a vengeance, like that.
With a vengeance, making sure that you get the revenge that you so wanted from DUO.
Yep.
That's good. So how did you actually get your guys' starting lineup from the current roster that is actually posted? By the looks of it, you guys have Sievert in the top lane, Sonic Abs in the jungle, Sorrow Brown, which is, I forgot what the new name for him is now.
Uyu.
Yeah, Uyu. So Uyu Gui now is the current mid laner. To Live Is To Smile for the ADC, and then Nizumi. So how'd you get about those players together?
So Steve messaged saying he wanted a fast start in DUO, and so he asked if he could join AOL, and I said sure. And Sonic,
he was the top laner for AOL in season 1 and 2, but his season 2 career was short. And then I've seen him play jungle in solo queue more than top lane, so I recruited him as the jungler. And Yasumi I found on another team, which was another team that I was on, which was War, ran by Doki. Ironically, Doki was the person who led AOL to their disbandment in season 2.
Really?
Yeah, and I think without Doki, without War, and in extension without Doki, I think I would have never found the MPV support for all the dragging, the fishing, and to live it to smile. So I took almost all of Nevermore's player, and I also cooked the captain.
It's kind of. I remember Nevermore was actually going to be an upcoming team in season 3, and then for some reason I know that they disbanded within the preseason, and then for them to actually come over and join AOL Phoenix, that's a little weird. So basically, what you're saying is that if it wasn't for you stealing Nevermore's players, then AOL wouldn't be in the position that they're currently in at the moment. Is what you're saying?
Hostile takeover of Nevermore. A hostile merger of AOL. Nevermore.
It was just a merger, that's all it really was. So, real quick, one last question for you before we go ahead and move on. So, preseason, now that you actually had your players together, you actually had your team together, I believe before it was Sievert, Sonic, Spike, and then it was Hero of Termina before he went off and did his own thing like during mid-season, and then Nezumi. So like looking at these guys in the beginning, like during the preseason and whatnot, did you think that they would have like this much of a skill gap between all the other teams that were in the division this season, or was it like, oh, we're just gonna see how things turn out?
I believed in our AOL and their players because we started scrimming 2 weeks prior to the season, and we scrimmed every day, and I would watch the scrims and be really confident, and like every time I watched them, I would feel more confident about their chances of making playoffs, because it wasn't just BSG teams that we AOL scrimmed. It was flat too.
Okay, so like you guys went ahead and you got that early advantage within the preseason, facing teams that were better or at least relatively close to be BSG teams. You were just trying to get the team more, prepared for the beginning of the season so they can have a strong showing.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that everyone meshed so well from the beginning. So, we had some rough spots with tryouts, but like the core, like the current iteration had good synergy, and plus being familiar with competitive never hurts.
That makes sense. That's good. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on now, so we don't make this a little bit too long. To live. Hello.
Hello.
So, I have a question for you. I remember you back in Season 2 when you did actually play for Nevermore. As I realized, you were actually teammates with Sievert on that team, who was formerly Blitzykins. I did hear about the actual downfall of Nevermore from last season. Can you kind of elaborate or give us your perspective on what the hell happened in Season 2 and, like, how it ended? Like, I want to get your opinion and kind of your feels on it.
It was... I can't really say bittersweet. It was just bitter. Because Sievert was allowed to play all the way up until playoffs, essentially. And then suddenly it's like, oh no, he's not allowed to play, and now he's off the team. And on top of that, our ADC and mine both had trips that we were taking. Mm-hmm. So we weren't there for the playoff matches either. So it was the jungler and the support, and then just a bunch of basically E-subs.
Right.
Fighting for that playoff spot because of unfortunate circumstances, and I can't really say I could have done anything about my trip because it was job related. Basically, they forced me to go home. Right. So, but as I said, it was bitter.
Like, because I remember Nevermore actually got the last seed within the playoffs that year as well, after climbing from like 11th place, I believe was the meme or something like that was going around in Season 2.
That was the point where I joined, and it was really neat seeing that group be able to claw our way back into the playoffs. But it was, as I said, it was just bitter how it ended.
Right.
It was just a whole bunch of unfortunate circumstances that took a turn I don't think any of us saw coming.
So, with that unfortunate turn for you, and with the tragic story of how Nevermore's Season 2 ended, tell me about what you did as a player during, like, the off-season. Like, were you still a free agent? Were you looking to join any other team? Like, what was your thought process after Season 2?
At the time, I was going to help keep Nevermore in the DUO Esports stuff, but I wasn't able to retain players, and I was sort of filling in for that captain role, and that was probably a showing that I probably shouldn't be a captain at this point, because, as I said, I wasn't able to retain the players, and because of that, Nevermore never got off the ground and never got into the league.
So what did you do, like, as a player for yourself?
I can't remember if I actually posted in the free agents or whatnot, but as a player, I might have done that, and then I just sat. Sort of. It's real bad. It's real bad saying it out loud.
You were just sitting there saying like, "Hey, I'm here. I mean, I'm a captain of a team, but if anyone wants to pick me up, I'm right here."
Yeah.
So what I've also noticed, there was actually a change for you this season from last season. Last season, you were actually the mid laner for Nevermore, and then this season, you're actually ADC. Like, was that something that you, like, wanted to do? Was that your decision, or, like, walk me through that?
Since 2014, I've been maining both mid and ADC in ranked. So I was comfortable enough playing both of them, and I think the first 2 matches I played, no, I think the very first match I played was mid lane, and then I filled in as a sub for bot lane. Then I went back to mid, and then our ADCs left, so I'm like, I mean, I can start. I felt like I had the skill to be able to start, and it's kind of shown. I didn't know that there was even an all-star voting, but to see that I got, I think it was 30-something votes on it, like, that's pretty cool to me, honestly.
So, to stop you right there and stay on the subject, so, like, how did you get called into AOL? Like, did you, because you, like you said, you were still the team, you were the team captain for Nevermore for a while. Did you join, like, during the beginning of this season, like during the preseason, or did you join, like, mid-season? Like, how did you get on AOL? Like, what happened?
I think it was just before the season started, and like when I was looking for players, Seaver and I have been friends for a while, and I tried to get him back onto Nevermore, but I wasn't able to retain an actual team, so I can't really blame him for not coming on. But after about, I think it was 3 or 4 days, he's like, "Hey, you wanna join this team?" And it's funny because that's sort of how I got onto Nevermore. He's like, "Hey, you wanna fill in here? We kind of need the players."
Seaver was just like, "Hey, go ahead, like jump on this wagon. Like I'll get you some success. Just follow me." Something
of course, there was the tryouts, and I was glad that I was able to show that I was good enough to join the team and whatnot. So
good enough in Communist Leader blew its eyes.
Yeah. Wait, say that again?
And Communist Leader blew its eyes. I forgot.
I wouldn't say Communist Leader.
Bludit makes all the rules in the AOL server. Whatever he says goes. Pretty sure that's the way it goes, right? Now that I got some time with you, Smile, I want to go ahead and I want to move on to asking you both some questions. And either you can answer it, like, so it's a little bit more professional. I'll say, like, Smile your view, or Blue your view. So anyway, first question is, are you surprised about this season of how AOL turned out? Currently, you guys are the first seed in Elder. You guys have the best record in DUO Esports. Perhaps some of the most impressive stats out of any team, possibly, I wouldn't say ever, because there has been some pretty dominant teams. For example, Naughty Nips and Piping Esports from last year. They were the top 2 teams. But, like, for this season, AOL seemed like they set a standard for each and every team. How they were saying, if you want to achieve greatness, you got to come up to this level, while everyone else is, like, down here. Like, are you guys surprised that you guys were able to exceed these standards and actually set that standard for all these other teams? Let's go ahead and start with you, Blue.
Well, what was the question again?
So basically, the ending of this season, like, are you surprised with how AOL turned out? Pretty much.
Yes and no. I believe AOL would be dominant at the beginning of the season, due to see the results in Scrim and things, and but to go almost undefeated for potentially all of the season was impressive. I thought we would drop it. We did, but it was for other reasons.
Right. You thought
yeah.
You thought, like, you guys would drop more than I believe it was 3 games AOL dropped this season. But
yeah.
You also have to keep in mind that you guys dropped those games because of circumstances with some players. Every time AOL had their starting roster playing, you guys were undefeated this entire time, which that in itself is scary. Like, you'd have teams pray to the Lord that there's another hurricane hitting somewhere in the United States to have that player off. And that's the kind of stance, or the kind of fear you put into the league this year, because everyone was worried about, are we facing AOL this week? Are we facing them next week or anything? Like, you guys were always on the radar for every other team, and if they could beat you guys, then that would give them a whole spike in confidence. And
Yeah.
it's just impressive that AOL is the team, like, finished where they were. Or actually where they are, not where they were, excuse me. And it's just... the team is just impressive this season. Like, I'll agree with you. I believe that AOL would drop a couple more games, but I didn't expect them to at first go on a 10-game winning streak and just dominate the beginning of the season, mid-season like they did. But anyway, what about you, Smile?
I can't really say I'm surprised, just because seeing the work that everyone's put into it, past and present players, seeing all that work, and as Blue said before, the scrim results, like I don't think it was a surprise that we were going to be top 3 in our division, but to be number 1 in the division, and by
not just the division, like,
yeah, no, and by technicalities, the whole league, it's kind of, as I'm with Blue, it's kind of surprised because I don't think anyone really expected it, but it's also not surprising just based on how much work has been put into it.
Right. Well, all right. Good stuff between you two. So that kind of answers my next question. So now I'm going to have you guys go on a little bit of a reminiscent type trip. Looking back at this entire season, what do you think was your highest high, Blue?
My highest high was getting aced 2 times at the Nexus.
Oh yeah, was that from I forgot which team that did that. Naughty Nips. Again, I believe you guys were actually just about to end too, and then some shenanigans happened, and then they were able to hold you guys, as you guys put it. They were able to hold, and you guys got aced twice in that scenario. That's a highest high. I consider that like a lowest low.
Well,
maybe.
My highest high.
So like for AOL as a whole, like as a team captain, what were you pretty much the most proud of this season? Like, was it from a play? Was it from a scrim? Like,
I think it's how dedicated the players were to maintain the work how do you pronounce it? I forgot.
Work ethic?
Yeah, work ethic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
present and past players.
That makes sense. So would you consider the being aced twice at the enemy Nexus as a lowest low then?
Yep.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure you weren't really getting it twisted or not. What about you, Smile? Highest high, lowest low?
I kind of want to say that our highest high is, like, right now, just the match that we had, our most recent match, being able to end the official season off on a 23-minute, fairly clean game. I consider that a pretty high. Like, we did have that 10-game win streak, and as impressive as that is, I think ending the season strong is more noteworthy than ending the season strong is more noteworthy than starting the season strong.
Right.
As for the lowest low, it'd probably be the 0-2 week, due to the most unlucky circumstances.
Right. Like, you guys had the undefeated record right on the line, and then to go, you guys' first 0-2 week, it was pretty heart-wrenching. Yeah,
it was. I'd kind of say it was sort of like a wake-up call. Like, and whatnot, but at the same time, there wasn't too much we can do about the circumstances. So we did what we could, and what happened, and we built off of that.
Right.
And finished the season with, after that, with only one loss, which I think is pretty neat.
Right. Yeah, that's something that really gets any team down, especially for holding an undefeated record for that long. Just to come in a week and just go 0-2 for the first time in the season, it really hits a team hard, and some teams actually can't bounce back from it. But you guys definitely got your belongings together and was like, okay, we can't let this happen anymore. Like, we'll just have to move on from this, and you guys did. So, both of you, your team MVP. So throughout this entire season, AOL in general, it's good. I believe this is going to be just a hard question in general, because every player on that team has actually performed super well in every single game during the season. So really, I want your guys' personal opinions and thoughts on who exactly you believe is your guys' team MVP. Let's start with you, Smile. Who would you vote for team MVP for this season?
If I had to choose one, I'd probably have to go with Seaver, because there's just some matches where even if like mid or bot doesn't do well, he's like the solid rock in the top lane, where he's like, he'll pick us up and just put us in his backpack, and we'll be able to finish strong and whatnot. So like, I'd have to go with Seaver.
So he was like pretty much kind of like the player that you would always have faith in, even when like he was in a losing matchup or anything like that.
Yes.
Like, do you think that the team as a whole thought about it that way as well, like from a player standpoint?
I'm not entirely sure how the others think about it. That's just my personal opinion on it. Like,
right.
If other players were down, we'd still be able to pull on through if we just stayed positive and whatnot. And as I said, just hop in that. Sometimes you just gotta take that nice backpack ride. So.
That's true. That's true. What about you, Blue?
If Spike was still playing, if Spike was still playing, I think he would. And Spike was pretty solid.
So looking at the current roster, or not the current roster, but at the moment, who would you consider?
At the moment, at the moment, I might have to say Sonic, since he creates a lot of pressure, relieves a lot lanes of a lot of pressure, gives lane a lot of pressure that they could.
Right. He's like the type, because he's like the type of jungler where he can basically, like, even though he's a kind of a 2-trick, maybe even a 1-trick pony in some cases, like, he's able to cause as much pressure as he does, or relieve any pressure, like you said. And he's kind of like that sacrificial lamb in some cases, to where, like, he's the one who's always looking to engage, he's the one who's looking to disengage, making sure that AOL does the deeps that it needs to do. And then if he's willing to sacrifice himself for it, then he's willing to do it.
Yeah, basically.
Sonic is a good choice, in my opinion. So, all right, that's good. We got Seaver, we got Sonic. So, supposedly the top duo. That's actually pretty sweet. It's always good to know that some players actually look at both the top and the jungler. When they have great synergy, they can actually do great things. Anyway, moving on from that, now that you guys both got your 2 MVPs, I want to go ahead and move on to, for you guys, to now talk about each individual player that you actually had a chance to actually play with. And I hope you guys know who's on your roster because I don't have it up at the moment. But go ahead, starting with top lane all the way down to support. Tell me, like, the things that you like about each of the players. Like, even though you didn't vote them, even if you didn't vote them as your MVP, just still go ahead and just give me something that you loved playing. Like, what made you love playing alongside them during this season? So we'll go ahead and start with you, Blue.
Siva, he's reliable. He's friendly. Most of the time, he's a rock in the top lane. I guess he's
Rock in the top lane.
Yes.
So you're saying he's like a Malphite in the top lane?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Sonic, Sonic is sometimes too what is that word? I don't want to use forceful, but I guess he can be. But I guess sometimes with AOL's dynamic, it worked. With it, his personality meshes with AOL's dynamic nicely. So, and then Gooey, he's he's fun to play with. He's not easily tillable like a lot. Every player on AO isn't really tillable, so that's
he's
really
tilt proof.
good. He's tilt proof.
That's good.
Yeah, and he. I don't know if it's a good thing to say, but he doesn't take it too serious. Like
he's more of a relaxed player.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's not like really more of the like he's not as competitive. Like he looks at it as like, oh yeah, let's play League of Legends. If we win, we win. Lose, whatever. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then to live is to smile he's been bounced around a lot. He's from mid to top, mid to ADC, and then back to mid again, and then to ADC. But he's a good ADC player. He plays the meta ADCs. Hold on.
Right. Well, let's move to you, Smile. So, top all the way to bot. For yourself, I'll say something about you as a player from a spectator standpoint and from what I know from your past. But just go through your top jungle, mid, support, and then I'll give you your little spiel.
Okay. Yeah, for Seaver we synergize pretty well. Let's say we know each other well enough to where like we can just like calm, cool, collected, get things done when they need to be done.
Right.
Sonic, as you mentioned earlier, people get him for one trick pony or two trick pony, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
yeah,
I think that's the best thing about him is like he does what he needs to get the job done, and he provides a lot of that vision and a lot of the like backup support for the ganks when needed. Just all around solid player. I'm gonna like sort of combine Uwe, Gui, and Nezumi, or not Nezumi, Yeah, Nezumi.
Okay.
Sorry. And with the mid and support is like just those like Ooey Gooey I get along magnificently with, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And Nezumi is one of the, I'd say probably the best support that I've been paired with, and we have that like almost like it's like a synergy from the get-go.
Right.
When I was finally put into the ADC starting role because of all the scrims that we were able to get done when the scrims needed to be done.
So there's like that, you have that extra type of spice when it comes to the synergy with Ooey Gooey and Nezumi.
Yeah.
So you're really comfortable with being paired with two. Like if they're playing, then you feel like you're going to be playing at your best.
Yes, I'd say that's more along the lines. That and just like I feel like if we had a mic check just for AOL games, like if we had a mic check, that'd be some wild stuff going on.
Yeah, I wish there was a mic check within Duo, but I'm pretty sure it would be about pretty NSFW type of conversations that would be happening in each of the conversations. But anyway, so for you as a player, really, for you to actually come up out of the scene once again, as you did for Nevermore, you really weren't a standout, but at the same time, you weren't bad to the point where no one was just like, oh, we don't even know who the hell this player is. Like, in general, you were more along the lines of, you were the type of ADC that came in, knew what you had to do, knew what AOL was going to do, and then clocked in, you clocked out. So you were able to perform very well in most of your games. Like when you needed to carry, you went ahead and you carried. When you needed to be in the right position, you were in the right position. You're very consistent when it comes to each game that you really played. So you were a very consistent player from what I've seen. Like whenever there was a bad team fight that happened, like by the looks of it, it looked like it didn't get to you. When it came to important team fights, you knew where you needed to be, what you needed to do, like who you needed to target. Like you're overall not, you're not the worst player, and at the same time, like you're not the best player. Like when you need to do a job, you go in and you get it done. Is what I'm pretty much getting at here. So from a spectator's point of view, I'm really glad that you got as far as you did this season compared to last season. You're actually able to make it into the playoffs this time, not due to unfortunate circumstances this time. So really, congratulations to yourself. And we'll go ahead and we'll go back to Blue. Blue, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so go ahead and give us your thoughts on Nezumi.
Nezumi's, he's relaxed. He's not too serious, even though, yeah, he's like ooey gooey almost. Playstyle. He's not too serious.
Right.
Yeah.
So you like how relaxed he is as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. He's also kind of more like a playmaking support rather than just a heal bot or something like that. Like he's the one who's always like looking to engage and make all the big plays happen and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I like about Nezumi. He's really exciting to watch from a spectator standpoint, especially for like. He's part of the reason why, like, most players will be like, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll try support. Like, I'll try my Thresh Out or my Rakan or Morgana or something like that. I want to try to make those big plays and, like, have that big impact in team fights. Like, I feel like that's what Nezumi pretty much defines when it comes to him in the support role.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. Final topic right now. so you guys secured your first seed in the playoffs. You guys are going to go ahead and you're going to be facing, I believe it is Dota's Demons first, and they are the 4th seed. So, from both of you, I want to really get your guys' thoughts on this upcoming matchup. Like, is there anything particular that you want to point out towards Dota's Demons? Like, have you ever seen any exploits and any weaknesses? Like, tell me about this matchup coming up. We'll start with you, Blue.
I think they have across the board good. I think good players.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we shouldn't underestimate them. And AOL should prepare for Dota's Demon, just like how we prepare for every other team in the league. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any particular player or any kind of threat you see with Dota's Demons at all? Be honest. Like, if you don't see any threat or anything wrong with them, then I mean, no reason to tell the truth.
I think the bot lane is a strong point for them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the bot lane.
All right.
Is yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you're just looking out for Dota's Demons bot lane, which
Yeah,
actually has carried some games during their season for the little amount of time they actually had for the season. They actually did have an impressive bot lane at some times, and they're probably gonna look to do something spicy, especially in the last matchup or the final season of the game. They actually were looking to actually how you say, let the ADC carry, in which case they definitely prioritized their bot lane in the final game, and of course to no avail, it didn't work. But
Yeah.
in short, I can understand their bot lane definitely. What about you, Smile? What are you seeing in this upcoming matchup?
I'd have to agree with Blue. It was, from what I understand, it was for them. It was unfortunate circumstances with lag issues on the Kai'Sa. So I think it'd be somewhat of a different game if there weren't those issues.
Right.
And by that stage, it's more of a, we've got to prepare on our own to be ready for anything that comes across. But yeah, I'm with Blue. Prepare, especially for me, since I'm in the bot role. So
right, you got that challenge that you actually have to overcome. Possibly not getting that bot lane to actually scale up and actually take over a game, like as any bot lane can actually do. Of course, bot still has a huge priority within the current meta at the moment, and over time and time again, though, you and Nizumi have been able to overcome any of that challenge. So, all right, gentlemen. Is there any shout-outs that you want to give to anyone in the team, anyone in the community of the DUO Esports? We'll start with you, Blue.
Me. I guess I will give my shout-out to Evelyn, and I play support.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I don't get the Gatorade meme. I just being wagging off of it. So
Okay, good shout out. No VM, I like it. What about you, Smile? Anyone you want to particularly shout out to? Anyone on the team, duo?
No one in particular, honestly. Just hopefully, yeah, no one in particular.
No one in particular.
It's not prepared for this question.
Just hit him with that. Hit him with that hashtag 11th place.
We'll just. Yeah, we'll just hit him with the hashtag 11th place. Yeah.
All right.
That sounds like a solid.
It's a solid shout out.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. I understand it's very late, but I want to thank both of you for actually taking the time to conducting this interview. Both of you, congratulations on earning first place. Congratulations on your 3 all-star players. And I want to congratulate you guys on an almost perfect season, but you guys definitely did extraordinarily well throughout this whole season. Definitely put up some impressive numbers. You guys are the team to beat within this division and during this playoffs. And I wish the best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, this will end our first ever edition of Playoff Hypes. My name is Sievert. I conducted an interview with AOL Phoenix, and thanks for joining.
Pixel Rush. And OC Nation starts the Drake. AOL does have sight of it. Lands the Q. Big play Jobway gets caught out, but he's using the Counter-Strike trying to survive. Cataclysm goes down. Braum ultimate trying to save him. Oriana manages to trade one for once. Shen gets the other. Drakenrich lands a big EQ. Hook lands on Killjoy. Gets played out. Sievert trying to do enough damage. Nezumi flashes out, tries to get the push, reset minion aggro. Sievert manages to lock down the kill, and AOL takes all. That was some type of damage from Blue. Stand United. Just